Welcome to the Fruitful Faith Women on Mission podcast. This podcast is created for purpose-driven women just like you who crave more. On the Fruitful Faith podcast, you can expect Christ-centered conversations that will help you to cultivate a life that you and He love. We'll be talking about topics that matter, topics that impact your everyday life. We'll talk about anything from how to transition with grace, to what to do when you're overwhelmed, to how to be content and joyful right where God's got you. It's going to be good. Let's dive on in. So have you ever dreamed of leaving your 9-to-5 job? Are you maybe tired of your commute and repetitive challenges in your day job? Maybe you have a side hustle that you would love to turn into your full-time job. Maybe you would love to take a leap of faith with God. So if your answer to any of these questions is yes, I am so excited to share something big with you today. Grace-Based Christian Coaching is launching an ebook. It's called Side Hustle Success: How to Finally Take the Leap and Live Your Dream. So if you're looking for a practical resource that will equip you to leave your 9-to-5, run your side hustle full time, this ebook, Side Hustle Success: How to Finally Take the Leap and Live Your Dream, is going to be perfect for you. So today on our podcast episode, I thought it could be fun to work through a few different powerful coaching questions that might get you thinking bigger if you've ever dreamed of doing something different. So let's dig in. So, a kind of statistic that might stop you in your tracks, but hopefully in a good way, is this. And it says that you spend 90,000 hours of your time at work over the course of a lifetime. 90,000 hours. That equates to about a third of your life. So, what you do is a big deal. It's important. It takes up a significant portion of your life here on earth. And it's important to be thoughtful about that. So, in that notion, I'd ask you, what is most important to you about your job? We all have different drivers and values, and sometimes it's just helpful to pause and consider what's most important to me about what I do. Is it the pay? That might stand out for some of you. Is it the type of work, what you do day in and day out, what your job specific tasks are? Or maybe it's the impact. It's the so what of what you're doing. That's really important to you and that matters most. So think about that. What's most important to you about your job? And then consider, are you getting that need met in what you're doing now? So does your current role meet that need or not? Something to think about. And another consideration is, are you using your gifts in your job? So do you have the opportunity to use your strengths, your spiritual gifts in whatever it is that you do? Or are you even mindful of that opportunity and are being intentional about using them and looking for chances to do so? So hopefully the answer is yes, or wow, that's something I never thought about. Definitely a good point there. But if the answer is a firm no, you may want to consider whether you're being led to serve perhaps in another way. Maybe this is a sort of a wake up call to consider focusing on something different in your career, and that's okay. And one other point that I'll add here is that you can be good at something, you can be really skilled and talented at something, but not passionate about doing it. So that's just something to recognize, to consider, and to lean into as well as you're assessing your job, and what's maybe going well and what maybe needs to be looked at a bit different. Okay, so thinking bigger, if you could do anything at all, what would that be? So here's your permission slip to dream, to think big, throw off all barriers, all fears, all doubts, all question marks, and just think, if you could do anything, what would that be? Maybe it's opening a boutique. Maybe it's working with a specific group of people. Maybe it is something that you've always dreamed of in your childhood, but never quite had the courage as an adult to pursue. So if you're thinking big, if you could do anything, what would that thing be? So there's a quote, one of my very favorites that might be beneficial as you kind of think about what could that big thing be? Because sometimes when we throw off boundaries, we throw off guardrails, it can almost be tough to think big picture. So hopefully this quote might help with that. And it's by Frederick Buechner. It says that vocation is the place where our deep gladness meets the world's deep need. It's also said vocation is the place where our deep gladness meets the world's deep hunger. So, just a big thought right there. What is it that lights you up big time? That when you're doing it, you feel like you're in the flow, time flies, it feels so meaningful, it's blessing others, and they need it. They desperately need it. And you love to serve in this way. So, what is that for you? Think about that for a moment. And then you may want to consider how would life be different if you were living from that place? How would life be different if you were living from a place where your deep passion and the world's deep hunger meet and you're living that out? Maybe your relationships would feel different. Maybe your health would be improved because you had gotten rid of stress or anxiety or frustration. Or maybe your schedule would be given back to you. There would be freedom in your schedule and a flexibility that you've been missing for years. So think about that. If you were living from this place, what might positively change when you do that? And then I'd encourage you to visualize. Get in that space where you're really dreaming and thinking. Maybe close your eyes, maybe take a pen and paper and journal out what would your ideal day look like in doing this other thing. Get really clear on that. Have fun with it. Get lost in that. I had read in a book, this is kind of mind blowing, if you will, that touched on visualization. It said a science based fact that our brain cannot tell the difference between visualization and reality. So we don't know the difference if something had really happened or if we just spent time visualizing it, closing our eyes, imagining it. And that's pretty powerful that we can take ourselves to that place and have the benefit of it without it necessarily happening. So, something really powerful to take away, a little gem there, if you will. Okay, so we thought about what's going on now, what things could look like, and now let's get into the action, right? Let's get you moving forward. So, what the question for you is what is one step that you can take to move forward into a more intentional way of life in regards to your career? One step that you can take to begin to close the gap between where things lie now and where things perhaps could be. So, maybe it's research. I know for me, that's where my career transition started was just digging into what is out there, what is available, what's next for me. Maybe you've already done some of that research. And maybe it's writing an email and just sending out that message that you've been meaning to for months now. Perhaps you're far down the journey and maybe it looks like picking a date that you know you're meant to take this leap and to do something different. And now it's time to commit. And maybe you've thought about this too, but there's the financial concern. So maybe it's getting clarity on a certain financial goal that you'd love to reach before you take the leap. So think about what is this next step for you? What's your baby step, if you will? It's going to move you forward. Write that out, put a date to it, share it with someone, speak it aloud, and get going, moving forward on it. All big things begin with a small step. So there you go. And then we'll also want to think about, what the reality, because it's not always easy to do big things. It can be scary, it can be fearful, even when you're walking with the Lord, but it doesn't have to be. That's the thing. When we walk with Him, it doesn't have to be. So as you think about challenges that might come up, consider, what's your greatest roadblock? What's the biggest thing that might stop you along this journey? And then what's a resource? What's a perspective, a different way of thinking, perhaps, an action step that's going to make a big difference in overcoming this roadblock? Maybe it's something with prioritizing your time. Maybe it's working with a coach. Whatever it is, what is going to help you overcome that thing? And we are so intelligent, so smart, and I have a feeling that if you take a couple of seconds to think about this, that a great potential solution or mitigator is going to come up. Okay, so we talked all about where you are, what could be different, what's next, how to start moving forward. And connected to all of this is, part of my story. I know I had talked a bit about this in our very first episode of the Fruitful Faith Women on Mission podcast. That's episode 1. In fact, it's our most popular episode. So if you haven't listened to that, I would encourage you to go back to it. But essentially, kind of connected to all of this, guys, in 2018, I left my 9 to 5. So I'm speaking about this from a place of experience. I get it. I get the highs, I get the lows, I get everything in between. So back in 2018, I left my 9 to 5, said yes to my God sized dream. I took the leap, to pursue my side hustle, this coaching business full time. And I am here to say that if I can do it, you can definitely make it happen too. So, next week, Monday specifically, August 24th, we'll kick off the pre launch to Grace Based Christian Coaching's latest resource. It's probably the very best piece of content and 3 years of business that I've published. And I am so excited for you to know about it. So it's an ebook. This is what's coming out. It's an ebook called Side Hustle Success. Take the leap and live your dream. And so in our Side Hustle Success ebook, I share with you all of the details on what I did right as I took the leap, as well as I get pretty honest about some of the mistakes I made and what, you can do to avoid them. So this ebook, it includes everything that you'll need to know essentially to say yes to your next chapter and to do it well, to do it confidently, and to do it with purpose. So, just for a little bit more insight, the ebook, it includes 5 different chapters plus one bonus chapter that's so good that you don't want to miss. And those are: one, what I learned from the first year of my side hustle. So, sharing the biggest lessons learned and things that you'll want to know and apply with whatever it is you're doing. And then another one is what I didn't expect from my side hustle. So, surprises that came up, things to be aware of, things to be prepared for, and joys along the way, to be honest, too. Then I talk about the best boss in the whole world. Hint, that is God. Share a pretty honest background about the God wings, if you will, on my journey from corporate to coach as an encouragement to you, as a behind the scenes insight. That's one of the, I think, very favorite chapters. And then getting really specific about 10 things to do before you leave your 9 to 5. So it's really, really practical content. It's really kind of deep content too. So what do you actually need to do specifically? And then from a mindset perspective or a way of thinking perspective, what might need to be shifted or pivoted to get you the best results, all packed into this resource. And then there's a bonus too that says bye to the big but. So what are those things that are standing in your way and getting in the way, and how can we help you move through them? So that is a sneak peek of what is to come. I know how hard personally it is, guys, to go through that daily grind when you know that you are meant for more. And even more importantly, when you have a greater God assignment waiting for you, one that promises kingdom impact. I just want to encourage you that He created you. He created you to play big and to bravely say yes. So if you're feeling maybe ready to just feel a sense of fulfillment that is beyond your wildest imagination, maybe you want to see God's power at work in your life, or maybe you would love to experience a taste of heaven here on earth, you will love. You'll love, love, love this resource. So know that more information on it is to come. Pre-launch is live next week, Monday, August 24th. And I haven't shared this anywhere yet. So you are getting some good scoop, good background scoop on this. But with our pre-launch week starting next week, the ebook is going to be offered at a special rate. Plus, it's going to be provided with not one, but two bonuses when you purchase during pre launch week. So that's August 24th through the 31st. And those bonuses are faith based affirmations for taking your side hustle full time, and then top tips for your first 90 days working full time. So, both kind of like a heart centered approach and then a really practical, specific steps approach, too. So, really, really good stuff. Just as a bonus to say thank you and to support you really in the best possible way as you are on your journey. So I'm so excited for you to dig in. I just know that you are going to love this ebook. Again, it's just have poured my heart and soul into it. So much of what God has showed me to support you and what He's leading you in. And then the other two things that are fun to know is that this Thursday on August 20th, I am going to be going live on the Grace Based Christian Coaching Facebook page and doing a Facebook Live workshop. So it's a bit different than what we talked about today on the podcast, but it's still on the topic of side hustle and how to really get moving forward, to think bigger, and just to kind of get outside of your own head. To just see big and different results. So that is going to be happening 2 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday. And then also, I'm going to be sharing the latest if you're interested, really want to know more about this resource on through the Grace Based Christian Coaching email family. I'll include a link to how you can be a part of that if you're not already in the show notes. And then also you'll want to follow along on Instagram. And then I'm at Grace Based Christian Coaching there to keep updated on the latest. So it's both through the email family and then some pieces too through Instagram as well. So you are in the know. I hope today really encouraged you in a big way. Taking this leap from going corporate to coach personally is one of the very best things I've ever done, both personally and professionally. It's just the greatest adventure with God to go on this journey when He's convicting you of something, when you get to use your gifts in a powerful way that just lights you up, feels so good. And not only that, but just serves others in a powerful and meaningful way that has kingdom impact. And when you are doing that, there's truly nothing quite like it. And I just have such a heart for any of you all who are in that place where you just feel a nudge to do something more, to do something different, but are maybe feeling overwhelmed or stuck or held back, and could just use some support in moving forward. So I can't wait to hear what you think. I can't wait to hear have you get your hands on this ebook coming up soon. And I'm just so, so excited for you and your God adventure and what's to come. Till next time. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Fruitful Faith Women on Mission podcast. If you love this episode, I would love for you to subscribe. New episodes will automatically show up on your phone when you subscribe. It's super convenient and you'll make sure you never miss a thing. So excited to share more with you soon.